Well folks, hello again and welcome back to another wild camping trip, and this is the sign that I've been looking out for the last hour. Of course, I left the car about an hour ago, and I have to say before I go any further, it was a very enjoyable woodland walk over there, very pleasant. I'm not a fan of the woodland walk sometimes. You know, I've done like Beinn Each, and there's a wee woodland section there. Ben Ledi, the one on Beinn Ledi is absolutely dreadful and boggy. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. And tonight's destination is Beinn Each, or Eich, or how you want to pronounce it. And it's, yeah, directly behind. Looks like a steep one. I'm hoping it will be my destination tonight. It's a bit windy at the moment. If it's too windy, I'll maybe drop back down here and look for another spot, albeit it's quite grassy, long grass. Sure there'll be plenty of ticks about. So yeah, looking forward to getting up there. Not going to say too much more. Just going to play it by ear up there. Ben Ledi in the distance is in the cloud now. Very thick and dark clouds that. Imagine there'll be a lot of rain over there. At the moment it's kind of holding on. It's to be a very good forecast tonight though. So yeah, we'll just play it by ear, and I'll see you when we get higher up. Well, I've not been messing around folks. It has been a very cold and miserable windy hike up here, but I finally reached the summit of Beinn Eich, 813 metres high, and it's now time to look for a camping spot. So the tent is up for tonight. I'm here very early. My last camp up Stuc and Lochin, I arrived very late just because of I was at work basically, and by the time I got home and back out, I didn't arrive until 8:30 at the camp spot that I wanted to camp at, and I had to leave fairly early because the weather was coming in the following morning. So I've arrived quite early. It's about 4 o'clock or something like that, but I've been here already an hour. It's quite a quiet peak this. I tried to pitch kind of out the way just in case anyone does come up the path. The path's over the other side, but I would be in sight at the summit, but I shouldn't, you know, cause any harm to anyone. Personally for me in the summer months, I try and arrive between about 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, you know. But I like to, you know, at least stay in the hill until about 6 the following morning, and enjoy the views. But I just got chased off the hill the last time, and it's going to happen again tomorrow. The rain's to come in about 7 tomorrow, so I'm going to try and leave about 5 tomorrow, just like I did the last time. So here nice and early, and yeah, I'm going to show you my gear. I've got plenty of time, so I'm going to show you my summer camping setup in, you know, the storage bags, so you can get a rough idea of the pack size and all of that. So let's get in the tent now, and I'll show you my setup. So yeah, here we go. I'll show you my sleeping bag, sleeping mat and pillow. There we go. So, just bear with me. Right, so I'll start off with the pillow since it's the first one in my hands. Hopefully you can see this okay. The ground's not the best for filming on and the wind's not helping me much. So yeah, this is the Sea to Summit premium regular size pillow. Can't remember what sizes these pillows come in, but I just went for the regular size. You know, it does me quite well. It's a very, very small pack size. You can actually kind of push down on it as well to make it even smaller if you need to. It's very rare. It's very rare I use this mat. The Thermarest Neoair Uberlite. That rare that I can't even remember what the R value is. I think it's 2.7, but I might be wrong. This is a really good mat. A bit of a nightmare to pack away because you've got to fold it over twice, and there's always that little bit of air you've not managed to squeeze out. It's a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, I mean, I guess you just need to get used to it. And this is the Thermarest Hyperion sleeping bag, -6 limit. This is a 0 degree comfort. Works out quite good because tonight it's to go down to about 4 degrees up here. So although, yeah, okay, summer can get quite warm, I fully acknowledge that it still gets quite cold sometimes, a bit like tonight. It's the end of June and it's to go down to roughly 4 degrees up here, so that's why I bought this sleeping bag, because it's got a really good comfort rate, and yet it weighs about 500 grams and packs down to what, the size of my hand. So if I'd never had the drone with me tonight, I could easily get away with a 33 litre backpack, but I've got a 44 litre backpack because of the drone. So camping gear like this is expensive, but it helps you out, definitely helps you out. It's light, pack size is good, yet you still get a good comfort rating in return as well. So I can't complain about this sleeping bag. I've had it 2 years, still in very good condition. I've looked after it. At home I've got one of those separate storage bags. You don't want to store these compressed. Most wild campers will know that. But yeah, I really like this sleeping bag, and yeah, highly recommend. All 3 pieces of equipment that I've just shown you. So yeah, that's really all you'll need, is a decent sleeping mat, pillow, and you know, sleeping bag for the summer. Maybe in the winter you might want to use like an inner liner and stuff like that. Just a wee bit extra comfort. Maybe a hot water bottle, a hand warmer, you know, something just to trap a wee bit more heat and provide extra heat as well. So anyway, let's get this stuff in the tent, and then I don't need to worry about it until tomorrow. Alright, so I've had to take a bit of shelter from the wind. It's driving me insane. It's a shame, like, because it is a really nice night. Like, it's clear, it's sunny, all the summits are cloud free, but yeah, a bit windy. 3 breaths, maybe 4. And there you go, we've got a pillow. So yeah, it's been a pretty decent trip so far. It's going to fly by like the evening. It's coming up at 4:15. I noticed the phone signal drops when I'm in the tent. So yeah, that's not great. But I mean, like, I was actually up Beinn Each last night. Didn't film it. Just doing a roadside camp, and it was daylight all night. Pretty much, you could easily walk along the road and see where you're going without a head torch. You would just have a light on just so the other road users can see you. But no, it's great when it's daylight like this. I do like the summer hikes, but I'm really trying my hardest to get back into wild camping and YouTube and stuff. And what I'm trying to do, it's the end of June. I'm going to try and do. Excuse me, wait a minute, my nose is itchy. I'm going to try and film as much as I can between now and the end of July. Everything will be wild camping related. Well, most things anyway. don't think I'm going to do many day trips now. I'm going to try and just do camps again, but yeah, I'm just going to start scheduling videos for August and September and just see how it goes, I think I've got a nice wee following, as I've said before, and yeah, I would like to grow my channel slowly. Personally for me, when you get a video like I have with 80,000 views and you get like 500 subscribers off it, a lot of them just become inactive after a month or two, or they unsub. For me, I would rather just get, you know, a nice steady following again, and yeah, we'll just see what happens in the winter. Personally for me, the better the weather, the better the video in my opinion. Sitting about in a tent listening to the rain, nah, I don't like it. So yeah, I mean, the plan is to try and travel around Scotland as much as I can. The weather's not brilliant at the moment. It's a shame because I'm off work for the next 2 weeks and I had some good plans lined up, but it's just not meant to be. I'm not travelling up to places like Torridon to sit in the clouds or to risk just sitting about in the clouds. It's happened once and I don't want it to happen again. It's over 200 miles away. I really wanted to head up to Torridon and try and do a couple of wild camps on the peaks up there, but I'm quite grateful and quite lucky that I'm only an hour away from this specific mountain. And I actually want to, when the wind dies down, it's meant to die down later on this evening. I'm hoping to, I'm going to hopefully show you the countryside scenery out towards Stirling, because this is one of the last peaks before you start hitting the countryside again. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is if you look kind of north, it's mountains, but if you look south, it's just beautiful countryside. I do really like the peaks in this part of Scotland, as I've said, on Ben Each and Ben Ledi. It's nice to see this area from the other side now, you could say, because Ben Ledi and Ben Each are at the other side of Loch Lubnig, and the views up here are still great. Oh, bit of a gust of wind there. But yeah, I'm going to chill out in the tent. I'm not going to just film in the tent for, you know, ages. Well, like I said, the wind's meant to die down, so I think I'm just going to chill out and yeah, just listen to the wind hitting the tent, I suppose. So tonight's dinner is just a wayfarer meal, kind of going back to basics after making that chicken wrap earlier on last week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to meatballs and pasta. Arguably one of my favourite wayfarer meals. I was going to try and cook something else, but two things kind of put me off. The first one was the wind, actually. I'd rather have good clear nights with minimum wind, a bit like what I got you know, that night up Stuc and Lochin. But I wasn't sure if I was going to do this wild camp. I was always going to do the car camp at Ben Lawers, but I didn't know if I fancied a second night. So decided to just play it by ear, and yeah, I ended up coming anyway. But yeah, it just made sense bringing one of these wayfarer meals for tonight. Just taking in the views. Hopefully you can see a.Chroin still in the background. So yeah, just gonna make this meal up. Wee 2-course meal though, obviously not having a starter. I'll show you what it is now once I get this meal in. So this is like a ginger sponge pudding you can get out of well, any supermarket really. It's Morrison's own make, right enough. And yeah, I'm just going to stick that in the Jetboil and see if I can heat it up in boiling water. Usually you microwave them for about 40 seconds, so I reckon a couple of minutes in there and it should heat it up quite nicely, and I can just eat it out the tub rather than tipping it upside down like you're meant to onto a plate. So yeah, that's the plan. It should fill me up quite nicely. It's nearly 6 o'clock. I was going to have it just after 6, dinner that is, but very hungry now actually. Not had anything since about 10 o'clock in the car, so yeah, I'm like I said, I'm fairly hungry. So yeah, 5 minutes and that will be hopefully ready to go. Right, so I've just had my Wayfarer meal. Didn't really bother filming much of that, to be honest with you. I'm just going to stick this in the Jetboil now, and we'll see how this goes. This is the first time I've tried making one of these in boiling water. I can only assume it will be fine. Just going to add a wee bit more water in. Good thing there's a wee lock-in just behind me there, so I can wash my Wayfarer meal out, which is just lying down there. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't blow away. I'll keep an eye on it. That's another thing you've got to think about when the wind's about, is just make sure any loose items like this are secure or in a shelter spot away from the wind. I think in my time while camping, I've only ever lost one thing. That was a dry bag from my tent, and believe it or not, me and Monty tried a camp at Dalwhinnie. I think the Monroe's called a.Chroin. It's about 950 metres high, and yeah, we were camping in winds of at least 45, I would say 55 mile an hour roughly, maybe even knocking on 60. That would maybe be gusts. And we tried to pitch our tents up in it. Stupid idea. And I nearly lost my Hilleberg Soulo. I lost my dry bag right enough, as I just said, but the Soulo was held down by one peg. One peg. Just completely like lost control of it, you know. My hands went numb, my arms were all numb as well with the wind. Wind chill was about 2 or 3 degrees, maybe even less. It was a stupid mistake from me and him. We should never have stayed. We should have bagged the Monroe. We shouldn't have even got to the top of the Monroe. We should have turned back before we even got to the summit. That was just one of those ones. You're over 100 miles. You're like, you don't want to turn back, But yeah, lesson learned. Just 2 things I usually don't mess about with on the hills. First one's lightning, second one's wind. I guess you could say the third one's whiteouts. Try to avoid whiteouts if I can. So yeah, just going to relax, have this, and then maybe just go for a wander, show you the area. It's really relaxing though, such a lovely place. Well, I'm just enjoying the views after dinner now. If you took the wind away, it would be an absolutely brilliant evening for it. But just a shame about the wind, So we're looking over towards Beinn and Beinn, 2 of the highest mountains in Scotland, 1,174 metres, that's Beinn, 1,165 metres is Beinn. Just out the shot, further north, we've got Beinn, which is the 10th highest mountain in Scotland. That's 1,214 metres high, and then you've got Beinn next to it, it's 1,103 metres. a.Chroin, 1,068 metres, and then you've got Thermarest over there as well, which is 1,044 metres. a.Chroin, I'm sure, is 1,068 as well, same height as a.Chroin. I might be wrong there. And then you've got, I mean, like, it's never ending, the Monroe's kind of up there. You've got Beinn Each and Trossachs. They're quite easy to remember their heights, because one of them's 946 metres, Beinn Each, and the other one's exactly 100 metres higher, Trossachs, which is 1,046 metres high. I might as well say it as well, like, obviously Stuc, a.Chroin and Beinn Each right next to us. Obviously they're a lot higher than us, but not by much, to be fair. There's not much really between this peak and them. There's what, I'm just trying to think here, like 150 metres, something like that, 160. This peak's 813 metres. Stuc, a.Chroin, which is just over there, you've seen it, is 974 metres high, and then Beinn Each behind is just slightly higher at 985 metres. So there's a lot of Munros in this area. I'm very grateful to live so close to this place. Like I said, I think I'm only an hour away, and I get a really good view of these mountains on a clear day from the house. But yeah, my knowledge here is pretty decent now. I've got the pleasure now of visiting most of the summits here. I've actually got the pleasure of camping in most of them too. I'm planning on revisiting Stuc, a.Chroin, maybe this year for a wild camp if I get a chance. But I just fancied a new peak, or I probably would have done Stuc, a.Chroin today, because it's a cracking summit. I've been up it before. Nice early morning trip that. September last year I done that one. So yeah, I'll let you have a look over at the other side of this peak now, looking back towards Grangemouth and Falkirk and Stirling. And this is the view that I was really wanting to talk about. I'm going to stand this way, that way I've got my back to the wind. So yeah, this is looking back towards like Falkirk, Stirling, Grangemouth. And as you'll probably realise if you're not familiar with this area, there's really no mountains over there. So this is really the start of it, you know, for the Scottish Highlands, you could say. You know, Stuc, a.Chroin and Beinn Each for the Munros, and you know, Ben Ledi for the Corbetts. It is worth mentioning there is Corbetts down towards Moffat. I think the Galloway Forest part's got Merrick, and I think they've got like, is it Whitecombe? I think there's a Hartfell. I'm trying to think of Corbetts down that way, but yeah, there's a few high peaks kind of, you know, obviously towards the borders, but most of your Munros and Corbetts are from here onwards north. So yeah, it's all just beautiful countryside. You've got some smaller hills obviously dotted around Delmayet, the Ochil Hills kind of over that way, but really just looking down here, it's all countryside. It's a beautiful view, and I imagine at night time, and I might even come back up here for a winter camp this winter. We'll see. Winter's not far away when you think about it. But I imagine on a nice clear night when it's dark, you'll probably get a good view of all the towns and villages lit up in the distance. I should probably know that because Beinn Ledi's right there, and I've been up it quite recently actually, but unfortunately I was in the clouds. But yeah, just thought I would mention that, you know, you get a cracking view of the countryside from up here as well. Something a wee bit different, I suppose. So it's been a couple of hours since I last done a piece to camera. It's just been a really relaxed wild camp, this one. The wind has tried its best to ruin it, and at times it has, I guess. It's not really calmed down. I'm not flying the drone because of it. I don't want to risk it. It's averaging about 28 miles per hour. We'll just round up to 30. And I just think that's a bit too much for me. For flying the drone. It's actually quite a cold night as well. The wind chill, yeah. My fingers are quite cold anyway. Probably could do with putting a pair of gloves on, but I think I'm just going to head in the tent in the next 10 minutes anyway, just stay in it for the rest of the night. Since I got up here I've not seen anyone, and even on the climb up didn't see anyone coming back down. No one's got up with me, so basically what I'm saying is I've not seen one single hiker, and because I'm leaving the hill tomorrow about 5 in the morning, I highly doubt I'm going to see anyone going back down, So, well, it's described as quite a popular hill, so I'm quite surprised I've not seen anyone yet, considering it's actually not a bad evening if the wind would just calm down, So yeah, I'm not going to wrap it up now. I'm going to wrap it up with the view of Stuc, a.Chroin, I think, and hopefully it will be a nice morning for filming. So yeah, we'll go over at Stuc, a.Chroin. I'm going to wrap it up for tonight, folks. Well, I have to say, folks, this is the best view from the top of this hill over to the fantastic mountain of Stuc, a.Chroin. And it's not just the view of the mountain itself, it's actually looking down towards the river that runs directly underneath it. You've actually got a lock in, which I never knew about, just over there too, just below the summit, maybe a few hundred metres, couple hundred metres just down. It's a fantastic mountain, and if I'm honest with you, and if you're quite familiar with the Munros, I have to say, from this point of view, looking over to Stuc, a.Chroin, it actually does look like Beinn a wee bit. You know, Beinn is quite rounded, and when you actually drive along the M9 towards, you know, the slip road onto the 84 for Blair Drummond, you know, you can see Beinn and it's very rounded, and you can kind of see that kind of shape of Stuc, a.Chroin from this angle. I've never seen Stuc, a.Chroin from this side, it's quite stunning actually looking at it. You've actually got a fantastic kind of steep scrambly section at the other side that you would walk up from Beinn. Yeah, I definitely need to go back up that and camp it. It's a fantastic peak, and you get cracking views of Beinn. It's a shame it's blocking it out, but to be honest, the view of Stuc, a.Chroin is the highlight of this hill, as I've said. So anyway, I've started noticing there's a lot of clouds coming down. The Lawers range is completely covered now. Tamakin obviously next to it. Beinn and Stop Enan were in the cloud earlier. Checked the Glencoe webcams, and Mulavuri's in the cloud. So it's not looking great further north. I'm quite glad. I was actually thinking, should I kind of go up to the Glencoe area, because I had the time, which is why I've been up here for so long, but I wanted the quicker drive home tomorrow morning, and the easier descent as well for the rain that's forecast. As I said, I'm leaving quite early tomorrow. So anyway folks, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I do hope we get views tomorrow to make up for not getting the drone out for tonight. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning. What a cracking spot this is. Well, good morning everyone. 4:30 in the morning. I've been up for a good hour at least. That was a good night in the tent, and I'm quite happy with the views this morning. I mean, it's quite restrictive, you know, looking behind the camera, but you know, it's quite nice. Nice colours over Stuc, a.Chroin this morning. The sunrise must have been quite nice. Out towards the Munros at the Cairngorms maybe. Certainly looking better in that direction anyway. Further west, miserable is a good word to describe it. It's just dark and cloudy. Can't really see much, to be honest with you guys, looking that way, but yeah, looks like I've landed lucky. I've picked a good hill for it, I suppose. Got up this morning at about 1 in the morning, and it was in the clag, but apart from that, it's been clear the whole trip. Does mean my tent's got condensation now though, so that's a bit frustrating, but I'm still going to try and get off before it gets rainy. It's supposed to start raining at 7, which is only about just over 2 hours away, so yeah, as long as I get back into that woodland bit you would have seen at the start of the video, I shouldn't have to worry about the rain, and that's only about 45 minutes away from here. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to the tent, and yeah, I've already started packing, but I'm going to continue with it. Arguably this is the worst bit of the wild camp, and what makes it even worse is this tent. I think I've mentioned it in the past. I don't compress this one down because the end poles, they just stay in their sleeves there. So yeah, you can't compress this tent down. So I need to pack it in a certain way that everything fits the backpack, and that does mean that this thing needs to go in first. So that means I've got to drag everything out the tent and try and leave somewhere, you know, safe. If it's a windy morning, it's a lot harder, like, to do that. But at least it's quite a calm morning, albeit it's very cloudy and, you know, the views are not the best. So yes, it's I'm just going to lay this towel out. I think I'm just going to put things on top of this, try and keep things off the damp grass if possible. At least put everything that's in the vestibule on it, because most of the stuff inside the tent are in their own individual dry bags. But yeah, it's just no point rushing this, eh? I personally don't like packing away in the morning. It's a right nightmare. There's my poles. They'll be quite handy getting back down because it's quite steep, this Corbett. Stove. There we go. Get in there. Not. This whole idea of avoiding the rain seems to be working so far, so hopefully that theme continues. It's a right crappy forecast today. It's a shame, like, it's like my holiday last year where you got one good day and then the rest of the week was crap. It's quite gutted I didn't get to use this. That's my drone. Just the wind, and this morning, what's the point? It's all cloudy. Alright, so the next few items I'm taking out the tent are quite important items, like my car keys, wallet, phone charger, things you might need. Well, things you'll definitely need. If I lose my car keys, then I'll be making a few phone calls to see who's daft enough to come and get me, and bring my spare car key. But yeah, I know where they are, so gonna get everything packed away. I need to remember to do my location rating out of 10. I've been thinking about that this morning, and yeah, it's just a case of getting off. It's been a great camp though, and considering I arrived here at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, it's kind of flew by. Just a shame about the wind yesterday, because it's calm this morning, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's the camp's done now, so I'm just going to pack the rest of this tent away. So yeah, not bad at all though, been a good camp. Alright, so as you would have seen, I'm all packed away and ready to head off. Just need to give my location rating out of 10 and then I'll head up to the summit and wrap the video up. So like I said yesterday, this is probably the best view from this Corbett, and I was quite lucky that the tent was pretty much facing this view as well for the night. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 7.8, the same score as Stuc and Locking. It's a bit of a bumpy summit up here, quite rocky, and yeah, quite restrictive on where you can pitch your tent. This view over here does help boost the score up a wee bit, and of course you would have seen the views up north as well throughout the trip. Pretty good. The walk up here was very enjoyable. I'd probably push it up to 8 out of 10 for hiking because of the woodland. I really enjoyed the woodland walk. It was very nice, and at least the second part of the walk down will be underneath the trees if it does start raining. So yeah, not a bad spot. I would definitely recommend it to anyone watching this video right now for camping, or it's even better if you're just doing it as a hike. But you will find a spot up here for your tent if you're desperate like I was for a camp. And there's flat spots on the summit if it's not too windy, although if it is busy then it might be a wee bit unpleasant. So I would definitely recommend trying to drop off the summit like I did, even if it's just 5 or 6 meters. It might make all the difference to your night. So yeah, I'm going to head up to the summit now and take in the final views before I head back down. And there we go, folks. One last look from the summit of Beinn Each. Not a bad viewpoint, to be fair, as I've mentioned. Obviously Stuc, a.Chroin, it's the highlight of this trip without a doubt. And yeah, definitely for sure as well, the clouds are dropping to all of the summits with the exception of this one. So it's going to happen at some point. Quite grateful and quite lucky about that. So yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up here. It's just a descent back down to the car, just retracing my steps. So I do hope you've enjoyed this camping trip in this video. And if you have, as always, don't forget to click the like button. If you're new and this is your first video, maybe consider subscribing, and definitely get involved in the comments as well if you want. And yeah, until my next trip, which is not too far from me anyway, but until next week, take care. Just a few days until my next camp. Can't wait.